one of the biggest brands in the toy industry was paying attention. Did you know that LEGO has asked stores to stop advertising for its police sets? This comes after an unarmed black man named George Floyd died in the US after a police officer kneeled on his neck. Now some people are saying they want to defund the police. But what does that mean? How would you explain what defunding the police means to all the kids watching at home?
What defunding the police means is taking some of the responsibilities, some of the jobs that we ask them to do right now, and giving those jobs to other organizations or other groups who are better able and better equipped to do those jobs. And at the same time that we move the work away from the police, we move some of the money or the funds away from the police as well, and we give it to those other organizations and those other agencies, those other groups.
When I hear defund the police, I picture police stations being shut down and nobody on the other line when I call 911. Is this kind of sort of what we're talking about here?
So defunding the police is not talking about, totally doing away with police stations and police as we know it. With defunding, there would still be police available. The whole point is that we've got to a place now where we ask the police to do a lot of things that they're not very well equipped to do. The police are not very well equipped to deal with people who are experiencing homelessness and issues related to poverty. The police are not very well equipped to deal with people who are suffering from mental health problems. There are other organizations and other agencies that are better able to deal with those issues. And unfortunately, sometimes when we call the police, there are some negative things that could happen, such as, the police are able to use force. That's a power that we give them, and it's an important power that we give them. But anytime we call the police, there is the potential for that to happen. And if someone's suffering from a mental health crisis, we want them to have help, not be hurt.
Of course, some people dislike the idea of defunding the police. They say taking money away from the police will cut ties to special programs that help communities and potentially make our cities more dangerous. What's your concern about the defunding idea?
My concern about the defunding is I don't want to see good programs get cut. Because when I think about, we have a unit here, it's called the Zebra Center. And what they do is they're investigators and social workers who look after children who've been abused. And they investigate the children who've been abused. So I would be afraid that defunding may cut programs such as that.
Some people say that situations involving mental health, addictions, homelessness would instead be handled by a nurse or a social worker instead of a police officer. What do you have to say about that?
In 2019, we had to go out and assist EMS 3,405 times. So the reason we had to do that is that the ambulance operators didn't feel safe because they were threatened or assaulted by somebody who was in crisis during mental health. So we also have to go out to help them. I don't think we have to go to every call, but we also have to be available too, because we don't want the mental health workers to get hurt either. So they need to be protected.
Tear it down, build it up. Why are we talking about changing the policing system anyways?
I've experienced discrimination at the hands of the police. I've been stopped inappropriately, questioned inappropriately. The more we have the police out of our lives when it's not completely necessary, then the less likely they are to engage in those discriminatory forms of behavior.
The police have had years to improve the relationships with the community, and they've only made a little bit of progress. What makes you think that they can fix this now?
Well, I think given what's been happening today and the terrible circumstances that Mr. Floyd's life was taken, I think that's going to be a catalyst for massive change. I really, really do, because if we don't learn from this, we are in so much trouble.
Now that we've heard from both sides, I want to hear what side you're on. Is it time to reinvest the money we spend on the police somewhere else, or leave things as it is and hope for change? Tell us your thoughts by emailing us at cbckidsnews@cbc.ca. I'm Elijah Sandyford for CBC Kids News. Peace.